Hi, this is Dr. Jeffrey Hanna at Atlas Health Australia. I want to share to you something really important today about how your nervous system integrates all of the different things that go on in your body and what it means for your ability to be well, be healthy, to be functioning properly. Now, what I have to do first is I've got to break one of the myths that we oh so wish was true when it came to the human body. And this was going to be the idea that it is a linear system. So a linear system is, in brief, as if you've got A, and that will cause B 100% all of the time. So what that would mean, if it was true, is that let's say that you have some kind of a problem going on with your health, your well-being, or something like that. You've got a headache, you've got back pain, you've got some kind of nerve condition, whatever it would be. So all you would have to do then is, if that's the problem, then, okay, we need one form of treatment, something like that, and that will give you the solution that you need. You will always get the desired output every single time, and you will have a cure for every ill. If you've got problem one, okay, you just do solution one and you will get solution A. You got problem two, just do treatment number two and you will get solution B. And if you've got problem number three, just do treatment three and you will get solution number B or number C. Here is the problem. This is a fairy tale. This is a myth. I'll put that in big red. I will use the example in psychology from years and years and years ago. There was what was called behavioral psychology, and the belief is that everything is stimulus, response. And from a scientific model, this is great because we have control. We have the ability to say, okay, well, if we do this, then this is exactly what's going to happen. It's what we as human beings would like to have, especially as far as our health one being, the idea that we are in control of the situation, that there are not things that are out of our hands, etc., etc. And especially if we're dealing with some kind of a health issue, that is what we want, because it would make things oh so much easier. It would mean that, okay, as we said, if there's a problem, you go see the doctor does a certain treatment, and it's the treatment that is going to solve the problem for you. Here is the kicker. I don't have that power to do that. Nobody does. And it's because the way that your nerve system works is it is not a linear A causes B scenario. It is a nonlinear system. So let me explain a little bit about how this works. So if we've got a problem, I put problem in quotation marks here because really it's a question of stress, and it's stress of the environment. Now, ultimately, stress can be in physical form, it can be in a chemical form, it can be in emotional form, all different kinds of stress. But it's not just the stress as the trigger that is the problem. It's ultimately how this thing here interprets that stress. And this was the thing that in the behavioral psychology, as much as it was tried to eliminate, they realized in the end that it can't be done. And the reality is that when it comes to our ability to be well and healthy as well as we want to be, we cannot remove this out of the equation. It's called integration. And integration is the idea that we're going to put some kind of input in, and ultimately, it is the wisdom of your own body that is going to determine what is the appropriate response based on that input. So we put input one in, but then based on this integration, you can have solution A, or solution B, or solution C. And suddenly now it's more of a question of probability, expected outcomes, but it's no longer that linear control that we would really like to have. What I'm going to do, I'm going to erase this for just a second, and I had only heard this term when reading, shameless plug, this book just the other day. So this is called It Just Makes Sense by Dr. Eddie Weller. He is an upper cervical chiropractor in the US, and he uses this term here, which I think describes it beautifully. Neuro-logic. So we talk about very often, especially in upper cervical chiropractic, the wisdom of the body, that stuff does just not happen in your body for any reason. Ultimately, your nerve system is the master control system of everything. It controls your heart. It controls your ability to move. It controls all the sensations you have, including not just the physical ones, but also the emotional ones there. So it's the neurologic system that's responsible, but neurologic. It's as if the system is capable of taking care of itself, and it does so with an inherent property. In chiropractic, this is sometimes called an innate intelligence, the idea that the body just knows what it needs to do to best take care of itself. The question then, is there something that is getting in the way of its ability to do that? And that in particular then, as far as chiropractic, what we're working to achieve is we're working to achieve a removal of that source of interference if it is due to a block or basically a misalignment in the upper part of the neck that would be affecting the way that that neurologic system could work. So when we do that, we apply we're going to apply our different form of care, but then what we have to do is we have to give up the control that we would like to have. I would like very much for my clients to say, okay, let me do this for you, let me do this, and all of your problems will go away. But I am not God. I do not have that kind of power. So it's only the neurologic system part of your own body, your nerve system, that is ultimately responsible and allows for this healing to happen. Well, our job then is simply to allow that system to function at the highest possible level so that you are going to have a lot better chance, a lot better opportunity to be as well functioning properly and as healthy then as is possible. So in some ways, I suppose this is a little bit of, tricky news, because again, we want the system to be linear. But in the same breath, as if we continue to believe that, that is not the reality of the situation. And so when we're dealing with health issues, we have to recognize that this is the true system that we are dealing with, respect it, and then when we are in that alignment and when we have that congruence, that's where we're able to see the really beautiful things happen in the course of people's lives. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video here. If you have, please write us a few comments, let us know what you've thought. If you can think of somebody who would benefit from checking this out, please do share this with them. And then we'd also like to invite you to check out just a bunch of additional information that we have on our website, which is atlashealth.com.au, and also other things that we have on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc., etc. This is Dr. Jeffrey Hanna at Atlas Health Australia, reminding you, take care of your neck, your lifeline to well-being.